Hello guys, welcome back to All Day Everyday Preparedness. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the rising inflation that we've been seeing and these high food prices. But before we get into that and before we get further into this video, I want to ask you guys some questions. Did you ever think that we would see a cost of living crisis? Did you ever think that during your lifetime, you would be living through a cost of living crisis? I saw something at the store the other day when I went to Walmart that totally blew me away. And this will definitely affect the way that I shop in the future. I really couldn't believe how expensive this one item was, how fast it shot up, and how high it went in price. I was literally in shock. Also, make sure that you stay tuned until the end of this video because I'm going to offer a solution for you that you can use in the future so you don't have to be a victim to food companies' greed any longer, especially when it comes to this one item that's considered by most people a staple of their diet. But before I get into that, what are you all seeing at your local stores? What prices are totally blowing you away? And when you see the final price, you're in sticker shock. Now, it doesn't have to be Walmart either. It can be Kroger, Costco, Aldi, or whatever local store that you shop at in your area. Just wherever you shop, what strange prices are you seeing where you live? Let me know in the comments and let's discuss it because I want to hear from you guys and see how prices are looking in different places around the country. But yeah, guys, I was totally in sticker shock when I saw just how much this one item had jumped up thanks to inflation. Now, it's getting tough out there right now, guys, just for people to live. Now, I hear stories all the time of people having to cut back on their grocery bills in order to have that money go toward their heat or other expenses as winter is starting to set in many areas of the country. We are living again in a real cost of living crisis, guys. Now, let's take a look at this article from MarketWatch.com. Now, it says that food prices keep rising. Food company execs are betting Americans will keep paying. And I believe they will as well. But let's read this article, guys. It says, even as rampant inflation in food prices leeches away consumer spending power and disproportionately affects lower income consumers, food company executives and Wall Street analysts believe that Americans will continue to buy their favorite foods. So what do you guys think? Do you think that's true? With all the inflation that we've seen over the past year or so, do you feel that Americans are still going to go and spend that money and buy their favorite foods? Even though it's hurting their pocketbooks, their wallets, do you still think they're going to go and buy that? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's cover this key point in the article here. It says executives have proclaimed during earning calls in recent days that they still have pricing power, strong pricing or price realization left in the tank. So in other words, despite all the price increases over the past year or so, they believe that they have the ability to keep hiking these prices further and to keep them elevated. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I believe that's exactly right, that these food companies have us in their pockets and they can charge any price they want to and that we're still going to pay it. I believe that for a fact. And I believe that based on two reasons. Number one is simple. We do need food to live, so we have to buy food. There's just no way around that. And people are addicted to food, guys. That's the other bad thing. People are actually addicted to food. Now, I'm not talking about the healthy stuff that we need to sustain our sustenance, but I'm talking about all this snack foods, all this junk food that people are addicted to. I'm talking about cookies and cakes and chips, soda, candy, all the stuff that's bad for you. People are literally addicted to this stuff. And these snack foods, unfortunately, get people hooked on them and people can't live without them. Now, again, I'm not telling anyone what to eat or how to eat, so don't get me wrong. But again, there is a great benefit in eating well, guys, as you know. Great benefits. Now, if you know the Bible, it talks about in this time that we're living in, many pestilences and diseases are still yet to come forth. Now, those particular pestilences and diseases that are coming on this earth, guys, we all could benefit from eating more healthily. And that way we can boost our immune systems in the process. And I think if we look back over the past 2 or 3 years, we can see that evidence because those that were mostly affected by what happened over the past year or 2 or 3, the biggest concern was people that had pre-existing conditions, guys, those with diabetes and heart disease and high blood pressure, etc. You name it, they were mostly affected by the events that went on, that big C, okay, that you can't talk about here on YouTube. But again, if we looked at the evidence as well, those with healthier eating habits, they fared far better than those that ate a lot of the junk food and again, that had those pre-existing conditions. Okay, guys, so moving on from that, let me show you a clip from my latest trip to Walmart. So what I was talking about again, this one particular item had jumped up so much. Again, I was in sticker shock and I've never seen this item priced so high before. It shot up in just a week from what it was prior and I couldn't believe it. So here's the clip, guys. Let's check it out. Okay, guys, I mean, look at that. $6.40 for just 18 eggs. I mean, that is crazy. I could not believe that 18 eggs have gotten that expensive. And if you look here, a dozen eggs are $4.33 for just a dozen eggs are over $4 now, approaching $4.50 here before you know it, probably $4.75 for just a dozen eggs. That is crazy, guys. Again, I still can't believe it. Now, if you look here, Eggland's Best, that particular brand has always been more expensive than Walmart, but as you can see, it's not much difference at all now between the Walmart brand eggs and Eggland's Best. They're both, for 18 count, they're both approaching $7 for 18 eggs. That is crazy, guys. Also, if you look at the large jumbo eggs, as you can see, those are $5.42. Before you know it, they're going to be over $6. And before this is all said and done, probably sometime in next year, if something doesn't change, eggs will be approaching $10 for a dozen eggs, guys. Can you believe it? Can you believe we are living in this food and cost of living crisis? I mean, I just still can't believe it, guys, that in 2022, going into 2023, we are living in a cost of living crisis. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. I mean, how do large families do it, guys? How are they affording to buy groceries right now? I mean, how does a large family afford to buy eggs in these times that we're living in? I mean, I have a decently large family, a family of 6, and I know that we can go through a dozen eggs in a single breakfast, guys. So, I mean, how are families doing this? Like large families that have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, how are they affording to buy their staples? You know, eggs, milk, juice, bread. How are they doing it, guys? And for many people, as you know, they're struggling, so they aren't doing it. They're pinching pennies. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. They're cutting back on this. They're cutting back on that. And again, guys, that's not the American dream. But it's not just in America, as you know, it's all over the world. Inflation is taking over, and these high food prices are getting people down. So let me know what you think again in the comments, guys. I mean, is this something that's going to continue on? Is this trend going to continue? Is food just going to go so high that it's going to price everybody out of the market? That's what I believe, but I want to hear from you guys, what you're seeing in your local areas. What do you believe? What do you think of this? Do you think it may come down, or do you think this is only the beginning? Let me know in the comments. Also, guys, if you have any money saving tips, leave those in the comments as well for other viewers. And please share that in the comments, because every little bit can help right now. And I know I do appreciate it. And I know also the other viewers will appreciate that type of help as well. Well, guys, we're under attack right now, as you know, from so many different angles. And this cost of living crisis is real. And the only way that I see that we're going to beat it, again, in my opinion, is to start being as self-sufficient as possible. You know, we have to make sure that most of our food is produced and grown by our own hands. You know, that our meat is produced and raised on our own land and by our own hands. Because again, if things keep going the way that they are going, guys, I mean, how is everyone going to be able to eat? I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, really, how is everyone going to be able to eat with the way prices are going? So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. But what I want to do is show you a solution. Again, now it's not for everyone, but again, I believe the solution going forward is, like I said, raising your own meat, being as self-sufficient as possible. Right now, for most Americans, we do so much outside of ourselves, or we have to rely on so much outside of ourselves just to live, whether that's our electricity, our water, our food, you know, you name it. But if we can start sourcing some of those things and doing some of those things for ourselves, then we can not only save money, but it's going to come down to a thing of survival, guys. We have to start sourcing our own food like our ancestors did, but the way our ancestors lived. Okay, they raised crops, they raised animals, guys, and that's all over the world. And we need to get back to that if we're going to survive these things that's coming on the earth. So let me show you guys a quick glimpse of my chicken coop. And here's where I get my fresh eggs from every spring, summer, and early fall. Now, right now we're in the winter time, so they've kind of shut down, and I let them rest for the winter. I don't try to put a light in there or change the environment. I let them rest, you know, for the winter. But again, I've had these hens for almost 3 years, so they are getting to the point where they are slowing down pretty good on egg production. So this coming spring, I do plan to get some new hens, and you can do this too, guys. I mean, if you have some land, or if you have a home with some land on it, I mean, you can do this, guys. With the price of eggs, with the price of chicken going through the roof. I hope that you're going to consider this as well. And again, you can start as early as this coming spring. So again, in 5 or 6 months from now, you could be raising your own chickens, farming your own fresh eggs every single morning. Because trust me, guys, I think that you can see it will be well worth it. Now, I strongly believe again that there is a time that's coming that you will need to be as self-sufficient as possible. And again, that time and the time to do that is running out. Also, another option, guys, for you to consider would be quail, because they also lay eggs and they're a little bit less noisy and a little bit less maintenance. And you can actually raise quail indoors as opposed to chickens, that you have to raise outdoors. So that could be another option for you to consider. Say if your locale didn't allow that or something like that, or even if you lived in an apartment, you probably could still raise quail in your apartment. So that's something for you to consider as well. And again, that wealth of knowledge is here available on YouTube. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you give us a like. Don't forget to share this video with others and subscribe to the channel if you're new. But I want to thank you all for watching. Continue to prepare, and as always, be blessed.